Urs Fischer revolutionized FC Basel and Union Berlin and got them to a level where they weren't before. His tactics can do the same for your Football Manager team, but he wasn't always successful and his tactics weren't always the best. Urs Fischer played football for 19 years, starting for only 2 football clubs. He was captain for both of them and is the all-time leading player for caps in the Swiss Super League. When Bernard Haaland was sacked, Urs Fischer was called upon to take on the caretaker role at the club. His first games managing the club were not successful at all, but they offered him the position permanently nevertheless. He guided FC Zurich to a second place finish in the 2010-2011 season, ending up only behind FC Basel. He was then sacked the following season after a poor league placement. He took the job at FC Thun before he made a big step, accepting the managerial role at FC Basel. And this union started really well. With Urs Fischer guiding the club, they managed to reach the knockout stage of the UEFA Champions League, stunning big clubs along the way. Of course, FC Basel was a big club before Urs Fischer took over, but what he did was to bring success to the club in a short amount of time, dominating the Swiss Super League, qualifying for the knockout stages of the most important European competition, and developing world-class players along the way. However, with the change in the club's leadership establishment came the change in Urs Fischer's career also. In what seemed as a controversial move at the time, he was sacked by the FC Basel board. But this was a blessing in disguise for Urs Fischer and a not so good move for Basel. He was announced as the new manager of Union Berlin on June 1, 2018. The club was playing in the Bundesliga 2 at the time. Urs Fischer guided them to a historical promotion to the Bundesliga in their first season, finishing third in the league. In the 2020-2021 season, 2 seasons after he took over at the club, Urs Fischer guided the club to a 7th place finish in the Bundesliga, enabling them to qualify for the inaugural edition of the newly established UEFA Conference League. But the astonishing Bundesliga feats of Union Berlin did not stop there. In the following season, they managed to qualify for the UEFA Europa League for the first time in their history by finishing 5th in the Bundesliga. And the season after that, Urs Fischer took it up another notch by guiding the club to a 4th place finish in the Bundesliga, qualifying the club to the UEFA Champions League for the first time in their history. If what he managed to accomplish at FC Basel was no short of impressive, what he managed to accomplish so far at Union Berlin is beyond impressive. And he's doing it all by playing a simple version of football. No fancy tactics, no footballing superstars, and no amazing patterns of play. Just making sure that out of possession, the team is solid and as impenetrable as possible, and that after recovering the ball, the opposition's goal is attacked as fast as possible. A back 3 formation which spans out to a 3-1-4-2 or a 3-5-2 depending on how you interpret it. A sweeper keeper on defend duty to make sure that any loose balls are kept under control. A ball-playing defender, a central defender, and a wide center back all on defend duty. One half-back, and then we move to the midfield 4. But before we do that, we need to understand how the defensive part of the tactic works. The ball-playing defender and the wide center-back are chosen so they would participate in the possession game after the ball was recovered in our defensive third. They both need to stay wider to avoid the pressing that will for sure come from the opposition. The halfback provides the link in the possession game and becomes the 4th man as soon as the game is progressed to the upper lines of the team. In front of them, we have a barrage of 4 players, 2 wide midfielders on support and 2 central midfielders, a box-to-box one and a roaming playmaker. The wide midfielders are chosen as they need to provide the width of the team in possession and become alternate wide options for passing. Also, they must be defensively stout as they participate actively in the defensive part of the game and stop the attackers on their flanks, while the strikers are defined as the target forward and an advanced forward, both on attack duty. All the attacking balls must be sent to them as fast as possible to catch the opposition on the counter. For this reason, besides the stay wider, the wide midfielders are also told to cross the ball more often. As other player instructions, the center midfielders are being told to tackle harder and close down more, as they are one of the most important roles in recovering the ball. The roaming playmaker is also told to mark tighter. As mentality, if your team is not the best in the league, cautious is preferable. If your team is one of the best ones in the league, balanced and positive are preferable. In possession, fairly wide, pass into space, slightly more direct and slightly higher tempo. Hit early crosses, play for set pieces, dribble less and be more disciplined. As it can be seen, the objective is to pass the ball to the front man as soon as it was recovered, counting on them to provide the goal-scoring opportunities and taking them as much as possible. For this reason, the strikers must be tall and strong to fight off the opposing defenders and win the ball in the box when it is crossed. In transition, counter-press, counter and distribute quickly. Out of possession, mid-block, standard defensive line, trigger press more often and get stuck in. As mentioned, the tactic is simple and effective, especially with the right personnel in your squad. It brought me a quadruple made of the Premier League, the UEFA Super Cup, the Carabao Cup and the FA Community Shield. We were knocked out of the Champions League and the FA Cup, but were very pragmatic in the Premier League. As said, this tactic can be very effective with the right players for the roles, and Urs Fischer's brilliance is noticed once again in everything he does at Union Berlin.